All right, I'm gonna do some computering today. So the goal today is, and I think this is gonna take some time, but I wanna get a good scan of the underside of this body. I have not used this scanner, but I tested it a little bit last night on some small stuff. From what I'm understanding, it works a little better on the bigger stuff, but it's going to take some getting used to, so this is going to take a little time, I'm sure. But I want to get a good scan of the whole 3D scan of the underside so that I can put it in CAD and get it, work my frame around everything. I got the gas tank. I made a 3D model of the gas tank in CAD, so I don't need to scan that. That was fairly easy, but there is just way too much going on under here. So I'm going to scan this. One of the things the scanner does not like is flat black surfaces. Yep. So they tell you to spray a mixture of rubbing alcohol and talcum powder on it, or baby powder, and that gives it a dull, flat look. I'm gonna first try to scan it without that. I'm just afraid it's gonna make a hell of a mess. It's gonna be cleaning up forever. But we'll see. And then we'll see if what's needed for markers. They also have some markers that you can use to help. That door is going to be a problem. Some markers that you can use to stake out areas that are large, flat areas. So I might put like a couple in here or something. I don't know. I don't have a good feel for what that's going to take yet. But I also dropped some bolts down through these holes here in the torque box, as I'm going to be using those as a rear body mount. That's normally where the front of the spring shackle hooks, so I'm going to actually mount right here with another body puck. But anyway, we'll get that thing fired up. I've got to run a calibration in these light conditions, and then I'm going to try to do a scan, see what I get. I think these fender wells are going to be a little troublesome. I might have to, throw some markers in there, and we'll see what I can do. We'll get a feel for what it needs first, and then we'll venture out from there. I'll bring you back when I'll set up the thing so you can kind of see the process. But this is the scanner I'm using. The Shining 3D from Einstar. Everybody talks about this. I've watched a lot of videos on it. Seems to work great for this sort of thing. It's not crazy expensive, under $1,000, which sounds like a lot, but wasn't 2 years ago when they were $10,000. So it's usable. So let's see what we can do with it. I'm kind of excited about this. I'm expecting this is going to take a while to get a good scan. Figure out all the nuances of getting it converted over to a point cloud, and then you got to convert it to a mesh after you combine all the different elements. So I'm kind of hoping that I can just kind of make this work, but we'll see. We'll see what we get. Check this out. This is nuts. I mean, come on. I've still got to clean this up. I got a couple pieces of like little stray scrap that landed in here, but you can delete all that. I threw some bolts in these holes just to denote where they are. I got to clean this up a little bit. I got to delete some of the stray material, stuff I don't need. But I did this all in one scan. I don't know if that was smart or not, but it was working so good I just couldn't stop. Pretty crazy. I can't really complain about this at all. So I'm going to go through, and I'll run another one once I get this cleaned up a little bit. I'll run another one so you can see how it goes, but that is unreal. Green areas where it's got the quite a bit of definition from scan points. The next step is to generate a point cloud. And then we start working your way up from there, and then you can eventually, merge that with other scans if you need to. But I am super pleased with this. I think this is pretty cool. So I got some more steps to do here. Clean up some of this stray data, kind of clip it down to what I actually need, and we can go from there. But I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you also got to take some measurements, like you can measure surface to surface inside here and make sure it matches properly, just to make sure that the whole scan took right. But I'll tell you what, that is slick. I am just blown away at how nice that came. So now's the hard part. I got to go through and make a bunch of adjustments to it. Yeah, that wheel well seems to have blown up a little bit inside that. Yeah, there's another whole layer in there that shouldn't be there, but I think I can correct that. So anyway, let me play with this some more. That took me about, I'd say I scanned that whole bottom in 20 minutes. I'm sure the file is gigantic, but I don't really care. Like I said, I've got some cleanup to do, and then I'll be ready to use this to start modeling. I think I'm blown away. That is a really cool little tool, and thrilled to have it. I think this is I can do a lot with this. It's gonna really enhance the opportunity here. So yeah, let me convert this now, and I'll put this into I'll trim it up, convert it into a point cloud, do a few things, and then let me take a break right now. I'll save this file off, and I'll do another one just to kind of show you how it builds as I'm running over the scan. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so that first scan, the big one, is optimizing. What I'm going to do right now is I'm spinning these pads out of the way, and I'm going to do another scan of just this area, and you can merge them together in the software. So the idea being, I'll do each of the corners where these pads are, merge that up, do them one at a time as an individual project, then merge them and pull them together. It's probably fine just the way it is right now, but hey, what the hell, we're here, we might as well make it right. So it's taking quite a while to optimize, but it's I expect that's going to take some time. That's a huge point cloud. So anyway, we're gonna bring it back. So I'm going to try to set you up here so you can see how this scans and builds. Pretty nice. So here, first thing you do is you get a preview, and then you start running it over the body. And that just tells you if you're getting it close enough, or I got to increase my brightness. This is a problem I ran into last time. So I'm doing a second scan now. And I'm going to scan this area down here at the bottom of the rocker panel where I didn't get the scan before because the pad for the lift was there. So let's just start scanning and see what we get. When it turns green, it's happy with that area. And I'm just going to slowly come down the inside of the rocker. There we go. Oh, shit. Okay, so I just paused and then, previewing again. All right, we're scanning again. And I'm slowly just coming down the side here, trying to build in as much of this as I can. And it's looking for features, so it sees corners and angles and bolts and stuff. When it does that, it considers itself happy. I'm going to come around this side, try to pick up the face of the rocker a little better this time. Oh, markers are required. So that's what happens when you start going too fast. It starts to freak out on you a little bit. Then it picks up. Once it's happy, you can, come on. Oh, I'm too close. Sorry. So now I'm just going to work my way back down this side of the rocker panel. Fill in this data as I go. Target's lost. Okay. And it sees a nice clean feature there, so it runs right in and gets it. But again, I'm just trying to mostly fill in the area I missed. Come straight up from the bottom now. Too close. Yep. It does complain a fair amount. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty amazing how well they've done with this. I mean, it is a nice tool. So I'm going to back out here. I think I got everything I wanted. I'm going to try to come down here, and there's a few little gaps in the bottom of the rocker. And you can see the targets I put on there, those little round holes up on the rocker panel. Those are actually targets to keep it from losing its mind while you're doing this. This is working out pretty good. Getting the bottom of the door a little bit, up to the body line. Oh, come on. Don't give up on me. Come on. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to get a little further ahead here. It starts to get into flat, benign areas without a lot of detail is when it starts to puke. But I'm liking that so far. I'm pretty happy with that. Then we'll just finish off this edge, and that should do it. Now I can combine that with the other model and have fit that right out. Okay, so I'll just take this. Green area is good data, red not so good. And what I'll do, you can see the door. You can even see the door gap not quite right at the bottom. Pretty good though. Like I said, I really just wanted to get this rocker involved. And I'm going to move my post jack to the other side and do the same thing on the left rear. Then I'll bring you back when I'm ready to merge some of this. Then you pull it into SolidWorks. Yeah, that's not too much to handle, right? I mean, look at that mess. It's just, there is so many facets to this. So basically you just have to turn off the edge lines and the facets go away. You can see this is pretty close. Again, I have everything I need that I can work with here. I did stick a couple of bolts down through the body mounting holes there, and you can see I put those there and there. So I took this, and after getting it into the proper coordinates, which a pain in the butt, kind of, pretty happy with what I got here. So then I took this model and put a bunch of planes in it because you can't really line anything up in SolidWorks to the STL file with a mesh. So like I did a chassis center line, the top of the gas tank, the rear body mounts. I did all kinds of different planes, including planes up through like the chassis plane. So there's a plane, what I call first slope up through here, second slope, third slope. So now I can take this part, and I also extended those bolts out a little bit, as you can see there. So basically what I have now is a really good representation of what the bottom of this chassis looks like. So now I can take that and flip it, put it in conjunction with my rear frame model here. And you can see that my frame needs a lot of work. I knew that it was just a rough model to get started while I waited for the scanner, but I'm closer than I thought I was going to be. And the nice thing about this setup is as you do this, you can actually look and see, and that's why I colored the frame purple, the chassis, the body purple, so I could easily see anywhere where my frame's poking up through the floor. And I have quite a few places where it's poking up through the floor, but not the end of the world. All of them are pretty manageable. So now I've got to get to work. Now it's time I can start tweaking on this frame design. I can move things in and out, get it where I need it to be, and hopefully, I can hug the surfaces up through the body line. This might be a little hard to see on camera, but hug the surfaces up through the body line and hit all my support points, and I think we'll be in really good shape. So yeah, I'm gonna get to work on this now and see if I can't come up with a strategy to make all these bends. I obviously have to add one more bend down back here, but again, pretty straightforward what I have to do here. I don't see a huge problem in any of this. It's kind of nice. I can see what's going on. Eventually, I'll slip the gas tank in here so I can mate that up and make sure that all clears the frame. I don't think there's going to be any problem. It looks like the frame will primarily be above the gas tank. So if I do this right, it should, model it up. It should just fit right in. So it's interesting that the front of the frame slopes down a little bit, which I think it has to because the front, the front clip hangs down. So I could conceivably even this up, make it level through the back, or I could just leave this slight amount of rake in it. Haven't really decided yet, but anyway, I've got enough here where I can get to work on it and figure out what I need to do. I can start building the back, rear frame rails, get those fit up so they come in better. And then I also put in a plane for the that rides along this line, which is really nice because I was able to put a drawing in where I could mock up the inside of that fender well so I know exactly where the center line of the rear axle needs to be. So I put a plane down through for that as well. So yeah, I'll continue on and see what I come up with next. I'll probably wrap this video up here and get it posted tonight. But yeah, this did everything I needed it to do, no doubt about it. If I was a little more finicky and fussy, I could have made a better model for the bottom, but it would have been bigger, larger. This is already a pretty huge mesh model as it is. So, but again, it'll do what I need to do. I have pretty good confidence in it. I'm not gonna stick this frame right up tight to those surfaces. My goal is to be parallel to the surfaces and about less than an inch away. So
wherever they need to be. Probably 3/4 of an inch would be more convenient. So that will give me the tolerancing I need to make sure nothing's going to hit or rub. If anything twists or flex, then I'll be in good shape. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Time to get to work on this design now.